Yo, everybody, welcome back. The intro song never gets old. I love that Kanye joint. I hope it goes back to his old self. But I'm your host, Velly. This is On the Flank, as usual. I want to welcome everybody that came in from Shock Stream, everybody that watched the 2K Finals. But, without further ado, we have our co-host, Colin Best Dressed. The man dressed, guys, Colin dresses up just for this show. That's how professional he is. But Colin, let him know who you are, baby.
As he said, I am the best dressed from head to toe. It's that Ric Flair drip each and every week, baby. Gotta hit him with the
drip.
Woo! Because if you look this good and you feel this good, you gotta be this damn good. But this week, Vel, we're joined by one of the most special guests we could ever possibly imagine. A man who's... Go ahead. I was gonna gas him up, but I'll let you do it.
You gas him first, and I'll come and say.
All right, I'll just give him my little bit of octane. You can come in with that premium, all right, baby? Because he's a man that's so good looking. He gotta be from a different planet. He's a man that's so smooth. He gotta be from a different galaxy. He's a man that knows so damn much. You'd have thought he had some kind of advanced technology to get it from some other planet, but you gone ahead and take it, baby.
Hey, you know what? Just for somebody that's just a friend, an admirer from afar, this man not only watches and studies and commentates Gears of War, okay? He does Halo. He does Call of Duty. He does it all. Spaceman, the man with the most beautiful hair in esports. Take off your hat. Is your hair all right? Can you take off your hat?
Good. No, I'm stressed right now. So yeah, let's just leave it on. Let's leave it on, man. It's all good.
This man has the best hair in esports. I don't care what nobody says. It's a pleasure to have you on. Anything you want to say to the chat?
I'm happy to be here. Thank you. Hopefully, the roast don't start for another 30 seconds. So, yeah, good. Feeling stressed. Can't wait to get this started. Let's go.
Oh, by the way, if you guys don't know who Spaceman is, Spaceman was actually in New Orleans with us, and he was a commentator. And I believe he commentated an Echo Fox game.
I did. I did Powers' second event, second match on land. Shit. So, yeah, they played Verticon with what's his name, Yogurt. So that was really dope. That was really dope.
Hey, excuse my fucking language, but who the fuck else hosted the channel? Was that Mental? Shout out to Mental Billy the God.
Hey, what's up, Billy?
Yo. So let's give a second to say Mental the God has blessed us with his host. I thought it would never happen ever in my lifetime, but I'm happy that it happened. Shout out to OpTic. Congrats for the win. But before we move forward, I want to take a minute out of our time to thank our sponsors and the people that power us. First off, I'm going to give a shout out to UGC. So just so you guys know, UGC, ever since our Vegas event, they've watched On the Flank and they've watched Gears closely. I see Lord Bear in the chat. What up, baby? And they love what we do. They picked us up. They're like, hey, we want to help you guys out. Graphics, promotion, whatever. So UGC, we love you. You guys are the best. And also, Colin, show him your cup, man. Show him your cup.
Beautiful pink and black attack. BrxveHeart, the throwback.
Wait a minute.
Hold up.
I want to give a shout out to G Fuel. You know what I'm saying?
The black on blackberry, baby.
So we can play this game. I got G Fuel too. What's up?
Peep the two new flavors I just copped too. Woo!
Am I allowed to use words like that? Peep and cop? Am I allowed?
Yeah,
I can't.
I'm actually going to get a little scoop myself. I want to say what's up to the chat. 300 Lars, we're out here. I see Gio and everybody else in here. But welcome. You don't know what On the Flank is. Basically, it's a talk show where we talk shit, we talk the truth, and we have fun. It's everything Gears related, competitive. It doesn't matter as long as it's relevant, except for the drama that happened on the TL over the weekend. But other than that, I say we jump right on board. Let's talk about what we just saw on stream. All right. Yeah. So Simplicity. They went against OpTic Gaming. This is new. We're used to seeing denial against OpTic, Echo Fox OpTic. No, we got a new team in the fray, and it's Simplicity. They were supposed to play on Wednesday, but my G Fuel going everywhere. My cup wasn't closed all the way. They were supposed to play Wednesday, but Shock. Yeah, when I get happy, things just explode and erupt. But what'd you call it? But Shock wasn't able to play on Wednesday because of class, so they played tonight. Okay, and Simplicity they just got too old, but let's get into it. All right, on Harbor, we saw OpTic Gaming win 7-4. OpTic won the first two. Simplicity won the next two, and it was history from there. Spaceman, you're the newcomer here. Let me hear what you got to say.
What's up? Okay, so I took this approach all right. I am, dude. It's Veer, what's up? But like I took the approach. I was talking with you a little bit when we were in our call before this started. I think that it's safe to say like most people kind of expected OpTic to run with this one. So because of that, I said, okay, I'm going to watch Shock stream. I'm going to watch, the other sides, because if they're doing something wrong, you're going to see it from them first, right? Because OpTic's going to just be, winning. So something that actually kind of stuck out to me is that Shock was really, really vocal during his call out. So, I mean, obviously you expect that when you're playing the top teams, maybe people try harder, but Shock was calling out his team relatively quickly on, failed rotations, for example. They seemed to, I think it was like round 2 or 3. Kyle, they had both homes capped, and at a point it looked like, slowly OpTic does what they do best, where they get, you push the wolf back in the corner and they get really pissed and start coming out. Kyle called a 3-man hit all the way over to B, and so 3 people flood right to B, and they end up losing their home and then end up losing B as well because they just didn't know what they were doing when they were flooding. And it went from like 208 and they lost 210, 208. And Shock immediately was like, Kyle, why did you call us all off B? Like, what are you doing? And so that was interesting. But the biggest takeaway I took really was just they lost snipe at Stern, I think, every single time. Simplicity, when they fly with 2 down, they try to pinch out snipe when it's usually at catwalk, and they'll try to pinch that home hill player. And then from there, I mean, if they lose it, because we saw like Praised or Summons get a 2-piece in a 1-on-3 3 times. Austin. Three times, and someone's got it like 2 or the 3 times. And when that happened, Shock was like, okay, now I'm like stuck. Like there's nothing I can do. So that was just kind of interesting. I mean, it seemed like, OpTic's like a piranha. They don't force engagements right inside. They sort of roam around. They pick at you slowly, one by one. And then if you make a mistake and say, let's just fly, they're going to like wait for you, and Praise is just going to get 2. So it was just,
I like this guy.
Who doesn't like this guy? He's watching it. He gets a good breakdown on it. But I'm going to give him a little quick history lesson. Don't be surprised by Shock getting good calls. Don't be surprised by Shock being vocal, being a leader. That man's been a leader on damn near every team he's been on. He even got to sub in for OpTic for a few weeks. So he might know those players, a few of those players' tendencies better than you might think. Shock's always been vocal. He's always been a standout player. He's always been a standout guy. I think the only time I ever saw him quiet was when he had to cough about every 3 seconds when he was playing in Columbus, because I think he had the bubonic plague that was trying to kill him. I was really worried for that boy. But I'll tell you right now, don't be surprised by Shock being such a good IGL. I love your points. I love the way that you talk about how, Kyle calls him off of one hill. They all get taken out. Then next thing you know, they're just picking away at him. But that's the thing that OpTic Gaming does best. You said they're like piranhas. OpTic Gaming, you hear him say it all the time, has the 5 best players in the game. They believe they are the 5 best.
The gems, bro.
It is hard to deny they are the 5 best players in the game. Individually, they can literally go, all right, let's take 1v1v1v1v1, and whoever loses will pick up the slack for that guy. That's fine, because the other 4 probably are going to win those fights. It's hard to deny. I love the way that those boys sometimes can take that mentality into just about every fight, and you saw it happen a lot on that winch and that Stern fight, where all of a sudden Mental might get there first. He might get a shot off or 2. He rotates, and they put Explosive in, because Explosive goes, oh, okay, you got a little hurt? Let me just rotate around here real quick, win this 1v1 for you.
You know what's funny? Everybody always talks about how OpTic has the 5 best players in the game, no matter what roster that they have. Like 2 rosters ago, everybody was saying OpTic has the 5 top players in the game, but it's not just that. It's like, so you're a fan of the Patriots, Colin, right? It's all about this. It's all about the system to me. They all have their moments and they make big plays when they have to, which is nice and all, but they all follow a system. What I saw on Harbor was actually pretty bad. So we actually saw a few times where OpTic, the boom shot was theirs in the middle. The boom, if I'm watching film and I have to go against Simplicity, I know how to beat Simplicity on Harbor now. You put that boom in the middle and you play around Shock the way you did, single Shock out, make him back out, and have the guy in the middle who was mental grab boom shot whenever he wanted. That can't happen. But there was a bright side. I really like Kyle, even though Kyle did make a wrong call. But there was an instance where Sturgeon win. You saw it was a 2v3. You had Shock go around with his Lancer to shoot up top towards the middle hill. Mm-hmm. You had Crash in a 1v3 basically right by drop shot. It was pretty bad. They lost that fight, then Kyle came in and clutched it. But that can't happen all the time, which is ultimately why they wound up losing 7-4, but also to end the game. And it was like the cherry on top. It was so sexy. Praise with his 1v2 at their home hill. That was embarrassing for Simplicity. Not only that, but the fact that Praise was able to get the boom shot, clean up, shock for the 3-piece, and then was able to win that map. OpTic was just way too damn strong on Harbor. If you're Simplicity, what would you even change? And how would you change your game plan against OpTic on Harbor, Colin?
Well, you got to go back and you got to look at what Denial did to him a lot. Denial actually beat him on Harbor just a few weeks ago, just before we went down to Mexico City. I know it was a completely different ball game when we got to Mexico City, but what Denial did is they threw a lot of what I like to call overload strats at a team, where all of a sudden you saw him go, all right, instead of let's taking 1v1v1 here, let's send 2 here with that 5th guy playing the strategy. You actually have to get inside those numbers and say, you know what, dad damn it, let's, instead of making it a 2v2, let's make it a 3v2 or a 4v2. Overload one side of the map, even if you're going to give up a power weapon somewhere else, you could only do but so much damage. You're not going to get, those miraculous booms like Icy did where he got 4 kills or 5 kills, I think, with 2 shots. You'll probably end up trading out 1 or 2. So if you can wipe those 2 players on the map, get positioning, you got to overload every now and again. You got to think outside of the generic meta. I know a lot of people like to also play this game of, you know what, we'll beat OpTic at their own game. You can't go chaos versus chaos against OpTic Gaming and expect to win. You got to be a little bit more organized. You got to be able to call shots. That's why franchises teams continue to have success, because he's able to think outside of the box that everybody's tried to build, that sand pit that they like to play in. He thinks just outside of it. He says, you know what, let's do this, or let's do that. Let's run an overload here. Let's run a fake push here. And Simplicity did a lot of that in Mexico City. So I'm surprised we didn't see more of that. So for me, I think that's all you got to do. I think Simplicity can go back, look at Harbor, learn from it, because again, the only thing you can do is hope to play them on maps they don't play very often, which is still not looking very good because they didn't play Forge Blitz for what seemed like a full year, and then they come out
4 months and they come out and swipe it.
So you got to just hope. It's got to have a little bit of luck on your side, right? Lady Luck every now and again's got to play. So they got to play a role.
Got that right. Real quick, I saw in the chat Sherlock Dome said, does anybody ever miss Casper being on the flank? Me neither. Sherlock, I definitely miss Casper being on the show. Casper was a great member, but we got Colin on board. Casper, he had other things to worry about, so that's that. So cut that conversation. But going into Diner, OpTic ran through Simplicity's pockets again. And it's kind of like what you said. You can't just go, to bang out OpTic when it comes to shotguns. The reason why Simplicity won the rounds that they did on Harbor was because they played footsies with them. If you play fighting games, it makes sense. But it's called footsies. You keep your distance. You don't go in too far. Exactly. You zone them out with your Lancers and just angle them out. That's how you beat OpTic. And that's how they actually won just about every single round on Harbor. But going into Diner, what did you see, Sean?
Well, it ties back to quickly what you said about Harbor, because every round they won on Harbor. I mean, Pell had the ball talk and Kyle had the hammy, and they kept them at a distance. Like, you don't let them get close. So going into Diner, I mean, there was 2 or 3 times where you send 3 players, maybe mental, and someone's riding right into kitchen, and you have Shock sitting on the outside. Kyle maybe is watching with the Lancer for the cross, and then from there, Clouds is trying to play these one-on-ones. Where a bunch of the times I was watching it, I'm like, okay, like let's say you do get lucky and you take maybe a 2-on-1, or you get lucky enough to maybe trade out, you have 1 player left alive. So regardless of the respawn time where you've controlled kitchen long enough, you're not getting enough time between engagements where you can have teammates fly off the start and come like right around the left side where the tractors pile up, and then you're sort of watching their home hill right as they run into the cut. There was too many situations where it was like, I felt like they were fighting for the promise of, like, this is going to sound really, really, really stupid.
Say it.
But they were fighting for the promise of a better tomorrow without realizing that there was so much more needed to get to that tomorrow. Like, what I'm saying is they were fighting for, okay, we can win this fight, and when we do, it'll set up X, Y, and Z. But they forgot that the rest of the alphabet still actually matters to win that fight, and they didn't do it. So they were, like, fighting these unnecessary engagements in kitchen where the rest of the map was wide open. And I think OpTic in like round 4 or 5 was like we can literally just not play kitchen and we could win this just by double capping home and let them have B. Like, that's it.
So are you saying that they were forcing the issue in the kitchen? Like, so
what I'm trying to say is like, it's bigger than just the fight itself. I'm saying their play style in this finals was more of, let's fight for what we think could and should happen, rather than how do we hard counter right now and stop the bleeding. They didn't do it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Gotcha. Colin, any thoughts, man? Agree, disagree? You got your own point.
I completely agree with the way that Sean broke that map down. Look, you saw OpTic, especially with their call-outs late in Diner, they knew they kind of had it in hand. They had control of whatever they would like to have on that map. They knew what fights they could go ahead and just mosey onto the opposite side of the map and completely avoid people, leave people in bad positions. Because then what ends up happening is you get a pick here or there as Simplicity tried to rotate around the map to get around to different hills or to get to different locations. Next thing you know, you get lost in the sauce, you get killed off again, and OpTic Gaming, there you go, boom, another round is gone away. So for me, it's one of those things where people have to look at the way Sean broke that down. You might be playing for these dominoes to fall, but if you can't knock that first one down, baby, you cannot get them all to go at any point in time. You got to get the first one to fall, and you got to start with the fight that you're actually in. You can't project fights down the road. You got to win the fight that you're in right now. So great analysis. I absolutely love the way he broke Diner down.
Honestly, didn't expect this from Sean at all. Sean's a geek.
Sean broke it down like a shotgun, baby. Cornered the market on their ass.
But you know what? I feel like the ultimate thing is we shouldn't lean too much on the fact that Simplicity lost against OpTic. We should lean heavily on the fact that Simplicity even made it here. I mean, let's move into the 2K recap. So Simplicity made it pretty damn far, and who did they beat to get there? They beat Denial, or let's just call them Contenders again. They beat Contenders. That's not an easy task for anybody, but they beat them there to go against OpTic. We're talking about a team that failed to get top 8 for so long in the 2Ks.
I think a switch flip for them. They got to land, and like I talked to them before going in. They I know they over exaggerated it, but it was for the world in scrims online. They said, look, we lost. We literally didn't. We would like dread getting on because we just knew we were about to lose 3 maps to whatever team we were about to play. Yeah. They get to land. They start winning their first game. They start beating Space Station. I'm standing off the left-hand side of the stage over closer to where Shock and Simplicity is. I hear Shock get up after map number 2 and goes, everybody's so good online. Everybody's so good online. It was like all of a sudden they stopped playing with this mentality of we're going to get on, we're going to get 3-0'd by whatever team we're going against. And it's, you know what? Let's go around. Let's show them what we're made of. We're 5 guys that have all either proven that we're good or proven that we're great. And let's go out there instead of stop trying to prove it again. Let's just show them. Let's just do the damn thing the way we know how to do it. And I think Simplicity can ride that confidence. As long as they stick together, that team could literally ride this wave of confidence and great playing, especially teamwork, because they used a lot of teamwork that people weren't used to when it came to land, especially with Affinity behind them. I talked about all those extra fake pushes, those overloads. With a coach that can call shots like that, if you can just kind of translate that onto online play, maybe practice some of that so when you get to land you're used to what you might be able to see. Goodness gracious, don't look out below, baby.
No, and just the fact that they even stuck together, they got top 4 last event, right? It was top 4. They got top 4 last event. They stuck together, and now they're in the 2K finals. It's almost if sticking together after events actually makes you better, kind of.
You get the hell out.
Y'all see that red dot on Velly's forehead, bro?
I'm just guessing. Maybe it's a thing.
But I'm gonna Google that.
But so I said that for a reason because we're about to go into what else happened in the 2K, and there's some different teams in there that actually got spanked. So take a look at the top side of the bracket. You have OpTic Gaming, of course. Straight road to the crown. But they went against some teams there. One of them was Captain Rage. Who's Captain Rage? Looking at Domes, neglected, Noxious, Strafey, and Witchy. And they actually beat Firearm's new team, which is Firearm has a Tristan, Enzym, and also Yogurt. So that was that. Did you watch a lot of 2K, Colin?
I got to watch a bit of it, not as much as I would have liked to. I got to watch a bit of it. One of the things I would like to point out is I think that team can do well, but they're going to have to come through open bracket, which is going to mean they're going to have to play a lot of games in Boston.
Yeah.
And it's Noxus's team, and he's no stranger. He's no stranger to the open bracket. He's no stranger in Gears 4 of having to come out of that open bracket and try to make noise once he gets to pool play. The only thing that I worry about is I saw performances from 2 of those guys start to drop off in Mexico City after they got out of open bracket. And I think it's just, I don't want to say fatigue, but you play that much Gears, you start kind of slipping. You're not playing as crispy as you might want to. You might make a mental slip up here or there. So I think that team. Great open team. I hope they stick together. They're 5 great guys. They're great players. I want to see some more from Witchy before I'd say that he's a permanent 5th type thing. They're an interesting spot.
Witchy's an interesting guy. What team was he on where everybody moved on nothing? Witchy was the one guy that didn't. Vex. What team was?
I think it was Vex. I think it was Vex Gaming.
Really? That was it?
I believe it was Vex.
Because Witchy was on a team where everybody moved ahead except him, and I felt so bad for him, yo. But I mean, other than that, did you happen to watch the Mazer and Rise Nation game?
I did. I missed that one. That was actually the one game I really wanted to see for top 4, and Rise Nation ends up coming out on top because, God damn it, I love those guys. But I can't pick them anymore.
Powers is back.
Look, they got the God of Death back.
He never went anywhere.
They were going straight back to top 4 as soon as
never went anywhere.
Well, he couldn't play on land. He couldn't play on land.
No. I know that. But I'm saying like that. I know that. I'm saying the talent himself. Like,
oh yeah,
he never went anywhere.
He's been here.
Yeah, he's been here. I mean, Velly, you and I know this from last weekend. Yeah, we know this from last weekend. He didn't go nowhere.
Colin. So just so you guys know in the chat, Spaceman and I actually casted the championship game between New York and Texas for the Mixer Microsoft Store matchups, right? And Powers literally put on a motherfucking montage.
He dropped what, like 57? Was it?
He was dropping 50 bombs on land, just walking around, getting headshots and up close 1v1s with the sniper. Like, he wasn't even trying. It was just like a show match.
Hey, Vel, pick up your G Fuel cup and show him that sticker on your G Fuel cup. It's a portrait of Powers. It's a look. There he is. Look, there's Powers. There he is. Found him. There he goes.
Powers is a little All Might, like that ass. But other than that, take a look at the bottom side of the bracket. Of course, Simplicity did their thing. Simplicity, they beat the likes of Vibes, which was God Plays, Kenny Bounce, Kraz, Lava, and Zerpting. So they beat, also Denial. They beat good teams in order to go to the end of the finals. But overall, what you making that sound for, man?
Hey, listen, no. Listen, I'm just saying, like, we talked about a little bit, like, the whole thing behind, Lava and Kenny and like where is it headed, stuff like that. So, Zerpting, great talent, but I'm just saying, like, that whole beat, like, it's not that surprising. I'm just saying.
It's a questionable roster. We're gonna get into that in the end. I got you. But Colin, overall 2K, any words you want to say? Basically the tone of this, the teams that stick together the most really made it to the end. All the new teams didn't make it far. None of them made it far. And the teams that were up and coming talent, especially in New Orleans and shit, in the 2K, they fell short, like top 16.
So here's my final thoughts on that. The thing that I think pissed me off the most from this past 2K, to be completely honest with you, is anybody that didn't make it to top 4. You saw at least one person be like, man, I don't know if this shit's for me. I done got dropped from another team type deal. And they had to get in a random 2K. For Christ's sake, it is the first 2K back from Mexico City, and you ain't got but so long before Boston. You bet to shut up, put up, and decide a second 2K. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, you're fine.
For Christ's sake, we go all go back to being free agents after every Sunday just because we had on the top 4 team. We all just go quit and find somebody else. Because
Simplicity did that.
Imagine they wouldn't be in the finals. They wouldn't be playing against OpTic games. It's ridiculous. Familiarity also breeds comfortability, which is what you saw in the top 4 teams.
Yeah, it's a dangerous double-edged sword, Colin.
And the top 4 teams have figured out how to sit on the side of winning with that sword, cutting straight through 100%, people with that sword.
100%. That's why Simplicity was top 2.
And I wish to God, and the thing that I hate to say this, I wish I could give Mazer a little bit more credit this week. I just wish they could have made it top 4. Yeah, they ran into a buzzsaw.
I wish I saw that.
That is a buzzsaw.
Yeah, and for those of you that don't know, Mazer is Hezi, Mortified, Sneak, exclusive in Xenon, so that's that. But yeah, I mean, they went against Rise, who Rise is a legit top 4 team now. So I mean, I if you were to have me bet money on that, it's definitely going to go to Rise anyways. I think Mazer's good. I still think that they haven't hit that switch yet to be a top 4 team.
They're close
yet.
You know what they kind of remind me of?
Their problems late games. Like, they had a couple of good answers in Mexico City, like the double shock on Foundation. But when it came crunch time, the rounds that they were losing, you and I casted against Reciprocity. They couldn't close. ABC, baby, always closing.
You know what they remind me of?
What's that?
They remind me of They remind me of E United on Sunday at NOLA.
Yeah.
How it was like you see literally like just the eyeball test, what they call it in sports. Just read the players, you see where it's going. It's just like they need like an extra 3-4% of just juice to get them there. But
I was just gonna say their players go big.
They do.
All the games,
that's what I'm saying.
Except the one that matters. Like we saw Sneak have like the best game of his life against Reciprocity. And then the next game, you don't have another player that steps up to be a game changer, and that's what separates the top 4 from other teams. You have that one or two players that just go the fuck off. Go ahead, Sean.
I was gonna say, Sean, this is an analogy in our wheelhouse, baby. I gotta tell you, because you'll like this. This is in our wheelhouse. They don't have a closer. They can get you to the 9th inning with a 1-0 ball game.
Yeah.
They ain't got nobody to put that shit
Here's
out.
what I want to say. That's really interesting because people think that, okay, you don't have a closer, so how are you going to step up to the next level? The easiest way I want to break this down is, I said it to you last weekend when we were talking about Sacramento versus New York and Powers team versus which was No Respect versus I'm blanking on the other team's name. But what I said was, Powers team is losing they're winning the individual fights and they're losing the team fight, but they're still winning the rounds. And I was like, okay, this is really interesting because their team's winning and they're losing the team fights. That's how yours is dynamic as an esport.
Yeah.
The thing is, this is what I love, is that, yes, you don't have a closer, but because each player is so close to getting to that 1-2% where they're just, like when the time comes and they start getting called up to the big leagues, they start producing. If all 5 of you are 1 or 2% away, maybe you don't need one player to step up. Maybe you all are going to peak at the same moment and all just realize that it doesn't take one, it doesn't take an explosive to start yelling at you. It doesn't take, it doesn't take a demo to control E and like start getting 3 pieces. Maybe it just takes all of you guys to work around that problem and you'll start closing out rounds. So that's what I'm saying. It's like maybe they don't have the extra, manpower that they would need to be a top team, but they don't need it.
To do it. They have
exactly. They don't need to have a special player. They're all special. They can all do it if they just figure it out.
Like they each and every single one of those players had a breakout event, but it's never 2 players at the same time. Exclusive had that one event. It was before San Diego. I forgot which one it was. Exclusive had a really, really big event.
Dallas.
Sneak, Dallas.
Dallas, yeah.
Where like Exclusive was filthy. Sneak was last event. Xenon was earlier in the year, and it's just like they all click on different levels. Toy Soldier in Ohio, but Toy's not on that team anymore.
He ain't coming from LA.
He ain't coming back. Hey, what did you say to Sneak and them Colin?
I said, hey, look, when they were talking about we'd be better off without Toy, I said, you say that, but he ain't coming out that locker room. You better not turn around and be expecting nobody to be standing up on no chair making no highlight reel plays for you, boy, because he ain't coming out.
I feel like Mazur is literally another player catching fire from breaking
that far away.
Because that's what happened with
But
Rise
that's also
Nation.
a big problem, is having to hope on somebody catching fire. Like, you've got to figure out, when it comes to closing, to me, that's more of a methodical thing than having to catch fire. Sometimes you've got to have somebody that can step back and say, God damn it, let me put it on my back. I'll make the call out. We'll make the play. That's all we got to do. So, and you look at like OpTic. Gilbert steps back, he makes the call out, and then somebody on that team makes the play. It's not one of them catching fire. It's the correct call out and the right play execution. You look at Denial, franchise, correct call out. Somebody like Rushies and Sleepy or Rushies and Icy making the correct execution of that play. So I don't think it's less about catching fire to me. I don't want to get it on catching.
I think that's it though, because take a look at Rise Nation though. How long did we say Rise Nation was a legit top 4 team, but they're just not doing it? We preached
they got a closer.
No. But I'm getting there. I'm getting there though.
Oh.
So Rise Nation, like for 4 events straight or 3 events straight, we're like, okay, they're good, but what the fuck is happening? Yeah. And you always had Avexis go off. You always had Drix have his consistent maps. You always had the one player like Detox to have that one map where he goes off and no one else does. But the moment they brought Powers, Toronto was a disaster because no one was going off. But then in Ohio, you had Derp and Powers both go off at the same time. That's what we're saying. Sneak was going off, but imagine if Exclusive also picked it the fuck up and became the Slayer exclusive that we all know. Like that's what it is. Wait, back it up. Back it up,
Colin.
Powers is God.
Okay,
wait. But also, you got to remember, Toronto happened.
Yeah, but who do you think it falls on? I'm saying it
doesn't fall on anybody. It falls on the team as a whole.
This is the point. That's the point I'm getting to. I'm saying if we're now making the argument where we're looking for, let's wipe every other variable we have off the board. If we're looking for someone to say step up and make a play, let's say for right now in the progression evolution as a team, tier 1 is you're a god. Tier 2 is you're consistent, but you're not quite there yet. Tier 3 is you're just starting out. They're clearly in tier 2. So clearly they're getting close to being a top 3, top 4 team. So I'm saying if there isn't a clear variable there that's an outlier for them, is it now on the I'm saying, is the responsibility now maybe on the coach to look at what he has in terms of the variables and say, okay, well, how do I work this?
Flora was their coach in Mexico, but I don't know if he's their permanent coach.
It's just all on the players just clicking at the right time. Because the thing is, when
so they haven't peaked yet.
Because they haven't peaked yet.
Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah,
that's it. But
okay, that's good.
Yeah, speaking of peaking, let's go into the next topic.
And
Colin, this mostly gonna be me and you, because there's a lot of emotions gonna come with this one. Another amateur moves up. Another amateur moves up, and I'm saying that because we all knew Treyway. Treyway beat OpTic Gaming and was in the 2K finals where they lost against Buddy Buddy. Treyway also placed top 4 again in the 2K finals, and then you didn't hear about Treyway after Mexico. That's because BrxveHeart got called up from the farm league. And BrxveHeart is actually playing. He's actually playing with Soto, Speedy, Toady, and Sam. That's not an official roster. But Soto gave the call up from BrxveHeart. And what did they place? They placed pretty poorly. Wait, let me actually take a look at the bracket robot game.
They lost the denial for top 4. They made it to top 8.
No, you sure that's top 8?
Yeah, they made it to top 8. Denial played Robo Gang for top 8. Sim played Vibe.
Yeah, that's top 8.
Played Mazer.
Yeah, they lost against Denial. So you have to question this. Do you think it was the right call, Colin? You take a look at Treyway, up and coming AM team. They're playing extremely well, and all of a sudden, a bunch of pro players say to them and say, "Hey, you guys doing good? Come play with us. We can get you there. We can get the orb. We can get you the salary. We have the resume. Or are you gonna stick with the team where it's like, yo, we came from the bottom and we're actually there now? Like, how do you feel about that whole scenario?"
So here's the thing here's the deal. I think BrxveHeart did, whether we want to admit it or not, he probably did what most any amateur in any game would have done. You get a call from 4 other pros, and they say, hey, come on, play with us.
Yeah.
As an amateur, I don't think you can turn
big eyes.
You get big eyes, and I don't know if you're able to turn that offer down, especially with names like Speedy and Soto, former world champions. Vital Sam, always a human highlight reel, and then you get Toddy. He's a pro player. He's a highlight reel himself. I really was hoping Toddy was going to stick with my boy Zerp. I was hoping Zerp and
Toddy and Zerp were so fun to watch together.
Lords, man, absolute lords.
Yeah.
But I don't think BrxveHeart could legitimately turn that down. It goes against what we want him to do, which is turn it down, stick with his 4 other amateur boys, and say, you know what, let's stick this thing out until Boston. Let's go to Boston. Let's just bang out with the best of them and make names for ourselves going into a brand new game. It would have been hellacious to watch them come. They'd have probably played 6 maps coming out of open. They'd have probably played 3 games, 2-0 everybody, moved on with life to make it the pool play.
It was the right decision at the wrong time. It's the last event of the season.
If he could have gotten it before Mexico.
If anyone, I know that you guys are familiar with this. If anyone in the chat's familiar with this, it's literally a reverse situation of UIU, and methods. It's right there. It's a reverse situation. You know why? Because like you have a top A team, you have chemistry, you have dynamic, you have history. That's important, right? I mean, how many times have we teamed with people where the history actually does matter in your success? Chemistry, history, confidence in yourself, you have a rhythm, then, it's a business. At the end of the day, esports is a business. You want to make the best decision for you because you're not going to say no to a pro.
That's the question. So, is this the best decision?
But here's the thing. I think it is, not now though, because look, you're going into last event. I would have been like, look, we're going to stick it out as a team. We're going to go out there, go balls to the wall. Let's just try to run it out, see what we can do. Last event, let's make it happen. Yeah. Going into Gears 5, this would have been perfect because it's like, okay, maybe a top team comes in. They say, okay, you know what? We're going to pick you up as our 5th. And, we're going to start the season off with like a new breath of fresh air. But the problem is that you not only screwed over your old teammates, you've put more pressure on yourself to perform, because if you don't, then it looks like a blown opportunity from not only the org's perspective, and now they look stupid, but it looks like you didn't take into value. It looks like you didn't value your own playing ability. So now he's stuck because he is in a worse position than the org is in, and he has to now look like he has to, pick his game up for the upcoming event. So the problem is that he screwed over himself more than maybe his teammates, and that's the biggest issue I have. Perfect opportunity, perfect, idea, mindset, I'd always say 100% go for it because you want that opportunity. Horrible time to do it.
It feels like there's no right decision to make.
He should have waited. Wait till the next game.
You know what I'm really scared of? I'm happy because I think BrxveHeart is a really nice guy. I think he's a great dude with a lot of hunger. But this is the thing that I'm scared of. So when I played back then, I was in BrxveHeart situation. Like I started up with like a group of friends. It was me, Blaze, Finesse, and OG Loke, and we shot to the top. We're a bunch of kids that weren't like in the elite group. But then we shot to the fucking top to where we were beating everybody, right? And then High Council, a top 2 team, came along with CDN, High Distortion, and them. And they were like, yo, Velly, come play with us. You know what I did? I went and played with them. Got top 16.
You look like a roadrunner going through a wall. It was just a frame of your body.
So that's the scary thing. That's the scary thing. So you have success already with this unproven talent where you guys are proving that you can beat these top teams. But then when this shiny team comes along, it's hard to say no. And I didn't say no. And I went to them. We got top 16. And then I'm not even top 16, like top 24. And I'm sitting here like, damn. And Blaze looked at me like, you should have fucking stuck with us. And that was something like I had to.
How many times have we heard that? How many times? Like I'm saying, the success stories. How many times have we heard of a player doing that? I'm not like bashing on you, obviously, but I'm saying that idea of like wrong time coming out, happening him, and it's like, dude, he knows where I live. I can't do that.
There's no wrong play because they're both right decisions.
Exactly. Hindsight's 100. I don't care 2020. It's 100. Like there's no wrong answer in hindsight. But the thing is that every single time we hear a story like this where a promising young team comes up and then they split. And then one player goes, and it's like, why, man?
Brave is in the chat, and he says,
I'm not trying to be animosity towards him at all.
No. We love Brave, by the way. Brave says, I got top 16 in Dallas going off, and I had no help. Now I have help. That's all by. But Brave, you made it to the 2K finals, and your team was the up-and-coming team. So you have to really, Colin, if you're Brave on Treyway, and Soda and them come to you, are you saying yes or no?
Not with all the horror stories I've heard about the captain of that team.
Okay. Sean, yes or no?
From a player's mentality, no. I'm not doing it. There's business. Yes, it makes perfect sense for your career, but you're telling me I'm leaving a team that even if I have issues with, I know what we're capable of, and you're supposed to iron it out as a team. No, I'm not leaving. I understand, but dude, like, the future's bright. Why make it difficult?
I feel like, is that... So, Brave, just know we're not talking bad.
Yeah, I'm not trying to like shit.
We're not talking bad at you. You're in a really sticky situation.
I'm saying you put yourself in a really hard spot.
Me personally, I would have stayed with Treyway, to be honest.
Yeah.
I would have stayed with Treyway. You know why?
I just wanted to hear somebody on Fight Night say Treyway again. Like, that's all I wanted, man. That's all I wanted.
Want to say it. I didn't. Like I was ready to say like, yo, Treyway, but it's not gonna happen anymore. And so now BrxveHeart, he's amongst that, those list of names like blasting them, where they were picked up from the bottom, and now they're really gonna have to go off. His team isn't like a guaranteed top 6, top 4 team, so they're gonna have to prove it. Unlike what he was doing with Treyway before he left, because Treyway, they were making moves, and a lot of people had eyes on him. Yeah. But maybe any last words you guys want to say about this topic? It's a touchy topic, to be honest.
It's a no-win scenario from the outside looking in.
It really is.
And what people fail to realize is if you've never been in the situation, if you've never had the opportunity to either choose between what could be instant success or what could blow up in your face, it's a stick of dynamite that you're not sure whether or not it's lit at the bottom of a barrel. You reach your hand in, you've either now got one of the most powerful things on the planet or blown your hand off.
Because there's just a way you can look at this. Like, you can sit there as BrxveHeart and say, okay, my team isn't proven. And what if we go and all this top 4 and finals in the 2K really amounts to us getting top 12? Or it could be like, yo, I left a team that was getting top 4 and beating OpTic to a team where we're struggling to get top 8 now. So now what?
It's difficult, but I'm still gonna be devil's advocate. I'm still gonna be devil's advocate. Because there was someone in the chat who said, like, they can't possibly say that, they know what to do because no one would know what to do. Yeah, sure. Like, that's the easy answer is to say, oh, no one knows what to do. But you have to remember, as a player, most players who make the switch like this see the instant success and they're thinking, this is my ticket. Most of them don't. Most of them forget about the resume they've built. And so the thing that we stress is because we've seen it happen a billion times to players who make decisions like this. And what we're saying is, you have to understand that we understand you want this success. We understand you think that this is the part of your career that's going to explode. You need to look at your resume and realize that even if you go into the next event and place top 32, people aren't going to look at you like, oh, he's washed up now. Oh, he's garbage. That last placing meant nothing. You've clearly proven your worth. So pros aren't going to like downgrade you now. Look at your backlog. Look at what you've done. It's not just because you place low. It's because you put the work into where if you do place low, people aren't going to start questioning your ability. So yeah, maybe it does seem easy. Like, oh, you take it. I don't think it is. I think maybe you realize that, look, it's not your break. It may seem like a great golden ticket. It doesn't mean it's going to lead to a chocolate factory. It doesn't.
No. Honestly, Treyway was one of the best teams out there before that switch, which is, you know the problem is, Colin? People in this community, they don't give things a chance until it fails. Why is that?
Because our community is the best at the, how do I put this? They are the absolute best.
You look stressed.
I'm not stressed. They're the absolute best at embodying the old saying that winning cures everything.
Have you met the Am God community?
Long as you winning, it's all sunshine and rainbows.
Yep.
Bet not hit a pothole. Bet not ever come close to a pothole.
Success is addictive, bro.
If this comes crashing down, it's gonna hurt. Again, Treyway will never be the same ever again. Because if BrxveHeart goes back, we've all seen how these teams are when they try to get back. It's not the same ever.
Yep.
But yeah. Before we move on to the first league of RosterMania, last word, Sean.
I got nothing, man. I'm just
That's
stressed
it,
all the
Colin.
time.
You're done.
I'm done.
All right, so first look at RosterMania. Let's go. So this is the biggest disappointment to me so far. Nimbus, Beehive, whatever you want to call them. Colin.
Why we even gotta talk about, you know?
Bro, I can see the gray hair setting in on him, bro. Look at him.
It ain't even come from my kid and my wife. They're my de-stressor when it comes to these damn teams of RosterMania.
This team is a perfect example about giving things time to fail before you make a change. So this is Noe, Demise, Handles, Enforce, and Proceed. And of course, they win 2 games and then ultimately lose to Rise Nation. Weren't they beating Rise Nation before they removed Toady?
It was a lot closer.
Oh yeah, they had close games. Rise were winning, but it was extremely close games.
I thought they did.
But I mean, for the last few weeks, this team they've done nothing. So I mean, hopefully this team can pick it up because the story of Nimbus back then was actually incredible. That was amazing. Sneaky said, where do you think Toy should go since y'all like him so bad? Who's y'all? Is he talking about what we said on Toy?
That's right. My man Sneak, he can't let it go. He can't let it go. Look.
Hey, wait. Sneak you can't deny Toy did do the damn thing in Ohio, though. Toy went off in Ohio. But where would you guys like to see Toy Social go?
I don't know. Based on RosterMania, he might end up on that team with Speedy and all them after this week. They might get rid of somebody.
There's a lot of changes that are going to happen.
Yeah. That's the thing. I think it's a little too early to call. There's so much happening. Because you say you make one prediction and the next thing you know, it's another fucking Orgulus. Excuse my language, but it is. It's just.
I don't see a team for Toy right now. I don't. Oh, I mean, I don't. I mean, you could replace Lava with Toy.
Yeah, that's kind of a linear.
But that's not
adjustment.
That's a one for one.
Yeah, honestly, there's no teams good enough to where I would say Toy's answer. Like, not at all.
Well, the thing is, Velly, is that I feel like right now we're kind of looking for options rather than them presenting right away. Like, we're saying, where's the best fit? Like, where's the 1-to-1 match? When it should be, oh, this is clearly the answer. So it's like if we're going, back and forth between where we think it should, then clearly we have to wait more for stuff.
My main man Kenny Bounce done said Lava ain't going nowhere. My main man Kenny Bounce.
No,
hold on, wait, Kenny, real quick. Can I get a rip real quick from Kenny F in the chat, maybe for a secondary retirement for a certain person we all love and we all know and love.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Ignore Colin. He's a bad guy.
The Walker must have been shiny, baby. He went right back to it. You know what I'm saying? He went right back to that Walker. Shiny. Help him walk around a little bit. Y'all know how it is.
Let's talk about the next team, Treyway. You have Dakota Bollocks, Lanarchy, Morality, Red, and Zyshow. This team, they tried out Colin the last 2K. With all due respect, Colin's actually terrible. This is Canadian Colin, by the way.
I'm terrible as well. No, it don't matter. You could have just said it.
You're better than them. Colin was terrible. They flopped pretty hard. They lost to Simplicity. I mean, that doesn't say much from a growth perspective because Simplicity was in the 2K finals. So they lost to, a top 2 finisher. But Treyway, they haven't seen the same since BrxveHeart left, which shows that team actually had chemistry and they clicked with BrxveHeart. So
it's almost like success means something. Oh my gosh.
Maybe it was the right fix. Let's take a look at Kenny's team since Kenny's in there. You have God Plays, Kenny Bounce, Kraz, Lava, and Zerpting. All right, and I'm gonna say something. Whoever made the call to pick up Kraz, I'm gonna give you a hug and a high five. Kraz is easily one of the most underrated players and vocal leaders in the game. Kraz sees the game differently than other people, and he plays the game slower and more precise than other people. So shout out to whoever made that move. But this team is full of heavy hitters. What are your initial thoughts, Sean? You want to say something?
I think that they have. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet because I know my limits just a little bit. But I think that they okay. Kenny and Lava.
Wait. Kenny said we're now playing with Kraz, so take the hug and the high five back. So I still stick by it. I think Kraz is a great player. But so Kenny, what is your do you have a final roster at all? Like how is it going? But
they're scrimming with one of our analysts right now, is what he said.
Is he? We're scrimming with Ribs right now. Oh, so they don't have a complete team. So this
Ribs in.
So we should go by this then. So there's really nothing to talk about this team because it's not.
Tony.
So that was just a 2K team. We'll take that with a grain of salt, which is what we're doing for the rest of these teams because I don't see most of these sticking. Let's take a look at this other team. BrxveHeart, Soto, Speedy, Toady, and Vital. They lost to Denial. You guys see anything happening with this team? Keeping in mind they did lose to Denial. Does this look like a good team on paper to you? Does it make sense?
They're going for every team is in what I would like to call the arms race right now. If you look at the way a lot of these teams are getting comprised, they're trying to find the fastest human beings possible. Like let's find 5 people that are jets that can just fly across the map and hope things work out for us if we're in every fight at every blink of an eye. And I actually really I love Ribs on the desk. I hope Ribs stays with us. He's a good friend of mine. I love getting to chat with him and chop it up about the game. But if Ribs plays with Kenny and that team is one of the more dangerous teams because they're so high intelligence that you'll fly right into the trap. You'll fly right into their hands. So I think one of the things that I've noticed as a pattern from all the little bit of RosterMania moves you've seen here and there is everybody's going out trying to find F-22s. Nobody's ever thinking about that A-10 Thunderbolt that's going to drop bombs on your ass.
Yeah. I'll pretty much agree. It'll be interesting to see how that roster will play. I still don't think God Plays have found his groove since he came back from his ban, to be completely honest. Aspire, we saw God Plays put a lot of the load on the shoulders with Blast, but I still don't think God Plays has hit his peak yet. I feel like we have a lot more to see from him. But anything about this the Soto and BrxveHeart team that you guys have any thoughts about? Does it look good on paper? Do you think it's gonna last? I mean, they have Speedy.
Yeah, I think it looks okay. I mean, I'm not.
But also, like I said, they have Speedy. We all know how Speedy is a perfectionist and he wants to win.
Speedy can. I mean, Speedy can hard carry that team if he needs to. I mean,
no, he tried to hard carry in Mexico. And it did not work. It did not work as well as he thought.
I'm saying he can be a hard carry, and I'm not going to say it's going to work out or not, but I'm just in general, I would definitely, if I'm on that team, I'm definitely happy that we have him. You know what I mean? We have the option of having someone who, like you said, Velly, is a perfectionist. There's no doubt about it. You watch him play, and it's pretty mesmerizing the way he moves around the map and the engagements he takes. But yeah, I'm definitely feeling comfortable on paper. Is it the greatest team? I mean, maybe not. Maybe it looks like you're. I'm going to be really generous. You're looking at it. I think on paper it looks like top 8, top 6, but
That's fair.
Again, on paper, look, yeah, it looks great.
Buddy 2.0.
Buddy got top 16.
That's 100%.
Buddy 2.0.
Yeah.
On paper,
that's what it looks like.
On paper, looks absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't think it translates well, especially if things go badly early in games for them.
I just feel like the pieces are wrong. Like I feel like it's kind of
it's like playing with 5 rooks on a chessboard.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure like the best other than just the analogy that you are. Like
this is actually a good discussion.
It is. It's kind of like, I just want to throw it to like my realm real quick. It's kind of like what I've seen out of just the first one during the PLQ of 100 Thieves. Like it was like it's like talent piece. Now put them all together and they fit together, but when you put a puzzle piece in and it like doesn't quite fit, so you like mush it down and it like crumples up the whole puzzle a little bit. That's kind of what I think this is. It's like, yes, they fit together and talent a piece, but it's not a smooth surface. I feel like there's room for improvement within the talent pool. And it's going to come down to the synergy itself, right? Does the board stay flat? Does it crumple up? We saw it crumple up in Mexico. So I still think like I'm not as educated on this as you guys are. So I still think it's too early for me to have a real comment, but I feel like, on paper it looks good, but what have you done for me lately?
So there's another team, and I'm being straight up when I say this. A ton of great talent that's not gonna fucking work out. It's not gonna work out. Firearm, Hesitate, Tristan, Enzim, and Yogurt. I don't know if that's a real team or not, but you look. If there's anybody I feel worse for out there, it's gonna be Firearm.
Yeah.
Coming off of second place in Toronto to just struggling to even find a home now. It's really bad because Firearm he's a talented player, but Hesitate.
With what we just heard from Kenny about them not playing with Kraz. Could you imagine? I was gonna say, could you imagine Kraz on that team? No offense to Enzem, I don't know him. I wouldn't know him from a phone book, but it's one of those things where you put Kraz on that team. Kraz and Yogurt just came off a hot streak playing with the Reapers, so they're gonna have a little bit of chemistry. Heza, Tristan, and Firearm and Kev all have chemistry from PJJ.
I would try it.
I mean, it's worth a shot, right? It's worth a shot.
It's worth a shot. It's worth a shot. Honestly,
have to lose?
I feel like Hez is really good. I feel like Hez is amazing.
100%.
I feel like Firearm has always been a phenomenal, versatile player.
100%.
Especially with power weapons and when he catches fire. Tristan, I want to see more of, but he popped off and he did. Yogurt, he's still looking to get in the spotlight again. But Kraz would kind of make sense. I'm thinking what else they would need. If they go against teams that are brawlers, I could see them struggling. But spreading out the map, I think they would be good if they bring in Kraz. But that's pretty much it.
I'm just looking, especially because we're deep with options. Like there's a lot of players that aren't going to find compatible teams that are going to stick together all the way till Boston. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right, and those are pretty much all the new teams for me, and pretty much the last of our topics. This is a shorter episode because Gears News has been pretty slow with the stuff that we can't talk about. So with that being said, any last words you guys want to bring up or any last topics? Chat, if you guys have any questions you want to bring up, feel free to ask. Parasite actually just asked, I have a question. Why does every team play more or less the same way?
Because every team's trying to clone OpTic.
There's only two teams that play outside the norm, but they both turn into the norm when they play against OpTic.
Yeah.
Simplicity and Denial played all of Mexico City, pretty much the opposite of the sandbox. And when they got to go up against OpTic Gaming, they fell back into the sandbox. It was really weird to watch.
I feel like there's two things. The first thing is obvious. It was stated last week by OpTic Gaming's head coach. Where we were having a discussion about that because there was only 3 teams that changed that were using different strategies and using trick strats for once in an event 2 years later. And I said, why don't these teams do that? Most of these teams look at the basic strat of what OpTic's doing, and they just want to emulate that. They don't look for counters. They don't look for their own strategies. They all use the same strategy for the same power weapon placements, do the same thing that we see every single time. and they're scared to try something different. And I think that the second thing is, and it's actually a discussion that is one that I am heavily against. Smoke stuns, it simplifies things for people. So if you throw smoke grenades down, you stun people, it makes it easier to get to where you want to be and fight for the power weapon without actually having
thing in the game now.
Without having to actually play around the power weapon and get kills in order to access it. You throw smoke and get loose. So teams, they get comfortable with that thought, and that's pretty much it.
Real quick, I'll answer that question for universal tuning in the chat. Why do we act like core tuning doesn't exist? We don't act like core tuning doesn't exist. It's the realm that we exist in only plays competitive tuning.
Yes.
I'd like to ask a question about core. I'll be more than happy. I play it a lot. I've done a lot of placements for it. I've gotten diamond in a lot of those playlists. It's a very different game. It really is. It's really night and day. But we act like it doesn't exist simply because we exist in a realm where it doesn't. Nobody plays on LAN or for money or in the competitive scene on core unless it's like 10 guys that agree to it just to see how it works. But we're never going to – we haven't played for money for it once. So that's why we act like it doesn't exist.
Can we talk about that?
Go ahead.
Actually, we care about core and competitive. And actually, we're pushing to have one tuning for everything. I'm also in the Rainbow Six Siege scene, and they actually they're putting out a patch to where they made it to where it's all just one thing, and they're also putting out another game type that you can search for in matchmaking, where it's like it's for newcomers, and it's basically the Pro League settings, but for newcomers to the game. So you're gonna play against like-minded people at a low level. It's gonna be on, I believe, 3 maps or 4 maps with the picks and bans like you would in the Pro League. But it's all to really get your foot in the door and learn how to play the game, the way the pros do, and this, that, and the third. And I really feel like games should really look at that. You don't want to split a community that's already split. Excuse me, irritated throat. Gears of War has changed with every single title. And by having 2 different tunings, it splits the scene even more. By having one tuning, we bring the community together and we move on beyond that, rather than worrying about editing the shotgun on this tuning and then doing it differently on this tuning. What if your focus is really competitive? You want everybody to learn how to play that competitive play style on these maps that you created. You can't do that with 2 different tunings. You want everyone to be the same way. If a casual player watches Boston and they're like, I want to compete. I want to play for this money. Let me try it out. They jump in there, shoot the shotgun. They're going to be like, this isn't the same game. That's going to scare them away, and then we lost a potential new player from coming in the game. Yep. That's just one person. Imagine thousands of people trying that. So, yeah, I would really wish for universal tuning.
Seconded.
So, yeah, Sean, any point of view? I mean, you come from Call of Duty where you get that.
On tuning?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why it isn't. There's never been a Call of Duty where you hop into a pub match or when they designate league play, CBC, rank, whatever. There's never been a situation where you hop in and the skill level might be different from players, but every gun plays the same as it would at a LAN, right? It's all the same. So I think people they look at it from a casual perspective because they're like, but it's about, I want to be able to sit back and have fun and not, have to feel like I'm going ham every game and just trying to, be the best on the team. Like, where is that aspect? The thing is, yeah, sure, that's great. But as it's a product of esports becoming bigger, right? As esports has gotten bigger, it's gotten to the point where we expect more from these games. So if we're looking at like Gears, there's no question that the casual Nasher and the competitive Nasher should be the same thing. Like the fact that it's not is mind blowing. If this happened in COD and let's say the Maddox in Call of Duty, right? Let's say it was like the ICR in normal casual play, and you get on Seaside Hardpoint on let's say League Play coming up this week, and you start trying to fire someone on first hill, and you can't get mobility with it because you can't hop inside the hill. So it's like, where's the line that we cross when in terms of getting people involved in the competitive scene and having support for league play or the competitive aspect and having a casual fan base? Well, they can be one and the same, but you have to learn how to do it respectively. So to make a long story short, the fact that the Nasher is different in 2 different game modes is extremely detrimental to the average viewer because even if they're not trying to be competitive.
what you'll most likely see come out of this, and this is just one man's opinion, take it with a grain of salt. What you'll most likely see come out of this is, while we had a lot of fun with giving out seasonal rewards for your rankings, like making it to Diamond and Master and stuff like that, you're going to have competitive tunings, or you're going to have one single tuning, but you will not have the grind for those high rankings again, because people that can't play it at those levels will miss out on all those rewards, and it'll be yet another thing that demoralizes them from playing the game. They're going to have to figure out the symbiotic relationship of keeping you interested and giving you a little bit of that, a little bit of a taste of what you should want and what you should strive for, without feeling like they're taking too much away from you. Because I can guarantee you, there are some people that play core or play other tunings. Like I still spend a lot of time in Horde, and they play a lot of those other tunings because, again, Gears just feels so good when you actually win gunfights. When you go into core and somebody runs up on you and you chunk them with a shotgun from forever away, you still feel good about it. You don't give a damn how overpowered the shotgun is. So it's one of those things where they're going to have to find the symbiotic relationship of not taking too much away from the people that can't compete at those high levels by making the ranks maybe different or somehow abnormalizing them from that, but also allowing people of all skill levels to play and join in. Because you can never ever. I'll let you say it right after this. You can never ever have a game basically say if you can't play it at this level, you shouldn't be playing.
What about Halo though?
Look at Halo. Look at Apex.
Yeah, Halo, look at Halo 3.
Both games do. So take a look at the new game Halo 5. They made everything easy and it sucks. But take a look at Halo 2. Take a look at take a look at Apex. Take a look at Apex. You create a game with universal tuning, but then you have to have the weapons, balanced right. So if you're a casual middle-aged gamer and you get on Apex, you can get kills here and there. But if you want to be the best, you're going to master the guns that are extremely hard to use, like the Wingman, like the Peacekeeper, where you're going to have to be accurate. And the thing is, that's the beauty about the game. There's skill gaps. And if you're able to master those types of guns and, get good or whatever, then you're going to be the best. You're going to be above everybody. So because I'm great with the Wingman, like, imagine like another tuning. It's just people are gonna have to learn to get good. You don't play games to lose it. Go ahead, Sean. Because I'm just messing. I'm trying to think about what I'm trying to say, but it's like I'm gonna make sure it actually comes out.
I know. I'm on the same train track as you, but I'm on a different cart. But I want to
say it because I have a hard time putting it together.
Here's what I think would be really interesting. This is more like an idea. If any developers happen to be watching, which I don't know if they are, obviously, but if they did, this is what I'd like to see. So, like, quick example, like Halo 3, right? Look at it. So when you have the social playlist, the base game is the same, whether you're lethal and snakebite or you're XX toxic sniper ZZ, whatever it is. You're the same game, doesn't matter. Social playlist, you have minimap, you have a radar, and there's certain things you can get away with, right? Like maybe the hit detection is a little bit different because it's supposed to help out the players, but they just added in the advanced aiming system back into the Halo 3 collection where like they fixed the modern aiming, so now you can actually drag shoot again, and they fixed the hitboxes, which is nice. But there you had radar and you had little things that you could get away with because the kids were on the same level and it was supposed to be casual. Moving into the rank playlist, the radar's taken away and it's much more like hardcore. There's more things to worry about. This is where I think you can get around the system in Gears. Maybe for Gears 5, have a base game where everything's the same. In casual, make a playlist for like social games like we do now. When you go in there, the smokes stun you and certain things go certain ways. When you get into competitive, the smokes only smoke and they don't stun you.
Can't have it that big.
That's terrible.
Too big
really?
That's drastic.
That's massive.
That's
terrible. Sorry, Sean. That's like saying, look, I'm gonna have noob tubes in my social Call of Duty playlist, but when I get to like no noob tubes, people are gonna go in there wanting to use the noob tubes.
That's literally core and competitive. Yeah. Like the shotgun and lancers and all is entirely different. But the thing is, you can't continue to baby people with easy and hard game modes. League of Legends, there's no easy game mode. Dota, there's no easy game mode. Counter-Strike, there's no easy game mode. You're just going to have to learn to get good, and that's the beauty about games. That's why the top games are so big, because of the drive and the skill gap out there that creates a grind for people to actually get better. It creates people to actually be smarter, which is why those games are full of really smart people and not dummies. You know what I'm saying? So we need one universal tuning, and that should be it.
My man Sean is stressed.
There's 8,000 reasons why Sean is stressed. But listen,
12,000.
Listen, I'm just Yeah, I believe there should be one universal tuning, and that's about it. But we're moving into an hour of this show, just about. Any last words? Anything else you guys want to bring up out there? Like I said, news for Gears was pretty slow in the past week, but we make do.
We always make do. We'll find a way, Vel. We're just like life in Jurassic Park. We'll find a way. You know what I'm saying, baby?
Exactly.
Yeah, go ahead.
John, any last words you want to say, man?
No, man. Thank you for having me on. This was fun.
Yeah, whatever. Colin,
fine. Whatever, dude. I'm just going back down.
Shut up.
I'm stressed.
You should create smokes that stand and it smokes that don't stand.
My man said smokes that do. I don't know.
That's cool. I know all where y'all live. That's fine.
I know.
Keep it up, boys. I know your employers. It's all good. Tony. I'm kidding.
Hey, Colin, anything you want to say, man? Actually,
reigning, defending. Oh, go ahead. That's all.
You're gonna see a lot of us coming soon, though. So if you guys follow Velly and Colin on Twitter, you're gonna see a lot of us trio coming soon.
Yeah. We're gonna be doing a Call of Duty show. But yeah, Colin, say your piece, man.
That's reigning, defending, undisputed, I don't care if anybody. I don't care about the denial match. Undefeated, heavyweight world champions. Jesus Christ, they are the literal Brock Lesnar final boss in Gears of War.
That's what Tripper said. They're the end boss in Gears 5. You have to play them.
Ain't nobody gonna beat that game. Nope.
So Colin, you watched Rainbow Six Siege. You watched the Six Invitational, right?
Yes, sir.
So the team that won G2, you know how they win just about everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
No one in that scene talks about giving up or quitting or just forcing shit to beat them, just like this game. I feel like people should just stop using excuses and just be hungry and just continue grinding.
Cool. Hey, look, didn't you see what Scump said today? Scump and Nick Merckx. Quitters never win,
happened?
Man. Quitters never win.
They don't.
The second you think about quitting, it's already over. It's one of my old favorite sayings from traditional sports. The second you have let the thought of quitting get in your brain, it's time to get out. Because
you think if Scump quit during AEW finals, he'd be here where he's at now? Hell no.
You think if Scump had quit in World War II? I mean, he took some beatings. My man took some real beatings.
To be fair, that game was ass. Okay. To be fair,
he's still here winning championships. To be fair, winning championships. So quitters never win, and I honestly, that's one of the things that I called. I love music, so I'm gonna say it. I called him out when Tristan said that he doesn't know if this is for him anymore. I told him, boy, he bet not talk about that around me.
Not. All right. Other than that, Boot Gang Walk, can we talk Call of Duty? I'm a COD fan. Boom. Do this. If you actually follow us on Twitter, this is me right here. We're actually once we get everything together. Other than that, I want to thank all of you for coming into the stream. Tony, if you can, go ahead and host my channel. I'm gonna go ahead and play some motherfucking Apex. And other than that, I want to thank you, Colin, for coming by. If you guys don't follow Spaceman, make sure you do Spaceman. Spaceman's the future. We're actually I'm doing a Call of Duty event with Spaceman.
We're all three of us are doing a Call of Duty.
Yeah, all three of us.
Yeah.
So I can't wait. I can't wait for that.
I'm gonna be controlling your hard points all weekend.
We're having Quentin come out and drive it for us, so we're good.
Yeah. Hey, that'd be solid. Spaceman, he casts Gears of War as well, so make sure you follow him. He's a great guy, and he's a fucking genius when it comes to like space and all that stuff. So Spaceman actually is his name for a reason. Other than that, I love you guys. Thanks for tuning into the stream. Shout out to UGC. Tone, when you hit that outro, go ahead and host my stream, baby, so they can watch me run around with the shotty on Apex, do my thing. But by the way, Gears of War players are the best with the shotguns on just about every game out there. Have you guys noticed that?
Clearly you've never seen Clayster playing Sovereign.
Clayster would get bodied against Gears.
Yeah, okay. So a gold medalist. Okay.
Body Clayster with a shoddy fight.
Yeah. Never seen
There's no shoddy fight any COD kid can win against.
You've never seen James Clayster Eubanks with a bulldog on Sovereign S&D round 7.
I'm
winning
calling
that gold medal for Scumpy and
you know what? You pick whatever player you want. You pick any player you want.
I'll pick Aggie.
Pick any
Parasite.
player you want, and I will take
Yeah.
I will take any Gears Pro right now.
Deal.
Well, listen, man, I love you guys to death, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Tone, hit that outro, hit that host, and I'll see you guys on my channel once you host me. So I love you guys, and I'll see you in a second. Yeah.